My dad doesn't know I heard him tell another kid he wished he was his son, so I gave him what he asked for. I'm 17 and I've never been into cars. My dad is 45 and lives for them. His whole life revolves around engines and transmissions and talking about vintage models for hours. My grandpa used to work in a mechanic shop, and Dad learned everything from him growing up. They can sit in our garage for an entire afternoon just discussing different car models, swapping stories about repairs they've done, debating which engines are better. It's their whole world. Me? I just don't get it. Dad tried when I was younger to get me interested. We'd be out there on weekends and he'd explain how things worked, show me parts, try to make it exciting, but it never clicked for me. I know the basics because he made sure I learned them. I can change a tire, do an oil change, jumpstart a battery. I'm grateful for that knowledge, but spending hours talking about cars and working on them for fun, that's just not who I am. I always thought Dad understood that. He never seemed disappointed. We did other stuff together. He came to my basketball games, helped me with homework, took me fishing. I thought we were good. 5 months ago, a new family moved in next door. A married couple and their nephew Mason, who's 16. Mason goes to my school, so I showed him around at first, helped him get comfortable. We're friendly, but we don't really hang out outside of school. The thing about Mason is, he's exactly like my dad and grandpa, completely obsessed with cars. He has this whole list of dream cars he wants to drive and own someday. Talks about it constantly. When his aunt and uncle would come over, Mason and his uncle started hanging out with my dad in the garage. Sometimes I'd be there too, but usually it was just them. I didn't mind. Dad has his garage time every other weekend anyway, usually works on his project car for a couple hours. For Father's Day this year, Dad said all he wanted was to work on his car all day without interruptions. Mom agreed. It's normal in our family. Mom does the same thing on Mother's Day with her art projects or books. Just a few hours to focus on their hobbies without family duties. We did a special breakfast for him that morning, made his favorite pancakes, gave him his gifts. He was happy. Then after lunch, he went out to the garage. Mason has been coming by whenever Dad works on the car for the past few months. He talks to Dad, sometimes helps with smaller tasks. I've seen them out there together plenty of times. Never bothered me. Dad and I still did our own thing. That Sunday afternoon, I needed to ask Dad something. I went to the garage and the door from the house was open. They were in the middle of a conversation, so I waited by the doorway. Didn't want to interrupt. Dad was praising Mason for something he'd just done on the car. Mason said his dad had taught him how to do that before he passed away, and my dad told him his dad would be really proud of him right now. Then he said it. "You're the kind of son I wanted to have." I just froze. Those words hit me like a physical punch. I stood there for maybe 10 seconds, then quietly went back to my room, shut the door, sat on my bed. I never thought not being into cars was a problem. I knew Dad still loved me, but apparently loving me isn't the same as being proud of who I am. Apparently I'm not enough. He doesn't know I heard him say that. I haven't told him. I haven't told anyone, but I've been different since then. I still answer when he asks me direct questions or tells me to do chores, but I don't talk to him anymore. Not really. No conversations, no hanging out, just the bare minimum. My parents noticed pretty quickly. They kept asking if something was wrong. I'd just say no and go to my room. My older sister is 19 and home from college for the summer. She definitely noticed the tension. She kept pushing me, asking what happened, why I was being weird with Dad. I held out for a few days, but she wouldn't let it go. Finally, I told her. Made her promise not to tell anyone the reason why I was upset. She kept that promise, but now she's not talking to Dad either, and she's being way meaner about it than I am. Cold shoulders, sharp responses, walking out of rooms when he enters. The house is miserable now. Dinner is silent and awkward. My parents keep asking both of us what's going on, why we're mad at Dad specifically. Neither of us will answer. Mom pulled me aside yesterday and asked if Dad did something to hurt me. I just said I didn't want to talk about it. Part of me knows I should probably just let it go, forgive him, and go back to how things were before. That would make everyone's life easier, but I can't stop hearing those words. The kind of son I wanted to have. Like I'm some kind of disappointment because I'd rather play basketball than rebuild carburetors. I don't know if I can forgive him for that, for wishing I was someone else.